You killed the angel who was responsible for this horror.
Yes, but his master is the true evil. He still lives, but I mean to fix that. I will ensure this never happens again.
I believe you.
I wonder if we could sell wigs made from your hair.
That is enough, Harold! If we survive this nightmare, I am leaving for my parents' estate in Bramwell.
That's a grand idea, dearest. Your father has more than enough money to...
Follow me, and I will tie you naked to a tree for the crows. Maybe then you'll finally think of something other than money.
He's been agitated ever since he mentioned the woman. Who was she? Did she start the fire?
Looking for something. Something hidden.
I don't know what to do. He's getting worse. I fear he will not live much longer.
You really must stop thanking me. It was nothing.
A dozen people ran by me and did nothing. You're a hero.
Just in the right place at the right time, I suppose.
Thanks to you, I can finally bury my wife in peace.
You've had an interesting life, I'd say.
Oh, I could tell you stories. We were frequently set upon by bandits. It became quite tiresome, really. One time, I had had enough. I know this is hard to believe, but when I was younger, I was even more vivacious than I am now. So I seduced their leader, convinced him to free us by giving him details on how he could rob a local magistrate. He'd heard the Vetchin could predict the future, so he believed me. They were caught and hung 3 days later. I must have forgotten to tell him that part of my vision.
The Grand Maester, behind the Order's corruption. Deep down, I think I always knew. Perhaps that's why I never felt worthy of the Order, as if I was not a true Templar.
They could beat your mind into submission, but never your heart. So what will you do with your life now? What will you believe in?
I believe in you and your quest. This world must be saved, regardless of the corruption of the Templar.
I have bad news, General. The king is dead.
I'd heard rumors, but I hoped. I didn't really care for the king at first, but he turned into a good ruler. Hadn't been himself lately, though. The last of his trusted advisors died recently. Hit him hard, it did. He would have recovered eventually. Now, he'll never get the chance.
Urzael is dead, and without his leadership, the Reapers should be easy for Torian's men to finish off.
You have saved Westmarch, my friend.
But we still don't know why Malthael wants the stone, and he grows stronger by the moment. We are running out of time.
That strange woman you brought here believes she can help. She insisted on speaking with you immediately. Urzael is slain. Westmarch is saved. And yet these thoughts weigh constantly upon me.
There will always be another battle, but a seasoned fighter enjoys the victory at hand.
Wise words, my friend. Angels are cursed with a wider perspective of events. To live in the moment is a part of mortal existence I must learn to embrace.
The boy meant well. You've made many mistakes yourself, like following me all over the world.
He's a fool, and fools end up dead around here.
Ah, now I see.
What are you talking about?
You lost your father, your wife, your apprentice. If you keep everyone far away, you cannot lose another.
You keep that nonsense to yourself, or I might forget how much I owe you. I'm telling you, Lyria was so lonely, and Zai was so alive and full of life. They shared one perfect night, and after she emerged, blushing. Dirges raced to her side, but Zai was gone. The ruby around Lyria's neck was the only sign that he had ever been there.
So Zai left a sign for Durgist and got Lyria in trouble. Did he feel any guilt?
No, not then. He felt pride.
I heard Liza's voice again, and I could make out more of what she was saying. She is calling out for me, but it sounds as though the voice is speaking to me from far away, from beyond our world.
You saw her body. She is gone.
I do not understand it, but I know she is out there, and she needs me.
Cheldo, I know how to find Malthael, but you will not like what I have to tell you.
What is it?
There is only one person who knows how to find Malthael. She waits for you in the Blood Marsh, and you know her well. Adria.
Adria.
Adria is not as you remember her. She is channeling blood magic to prepare herself to retrieve the Black Soul Stone.
Explain.
Some things cannot be explained. You must see them for yourself.
I'm going to walk away now.
You have no sense of adventure.
Where are the angels? Why do they not stop Malthael?
There is confusion and dissension in the high heavens. You must remember, Malthael was our leader once.
You're on the Angiris Council. Get the angelic host down here.
Imperius commands the host, and he will not unleash them on a fellow angel, especially a former member of the Angiris Council.
Imperius. I'll have words with him when this is over.
You're not going anywhere without me.
And why is that?
Someone has to make sure you don't kill Adria before you find out where Malthael is.
Come if you want, but Adria is going to pay for what she did to Leah. Urzael and the Reapers are dead. Now the people of Westmarch can begin to rebuild their city and their lives. Lorath and I depart for the Blood March to confront Adria. She knows how to find Malthael, but more importantly, there is a blood debt between us, and she will pay it.
We hid the Black Soul Stone in the deepest part of the Nephilim ruins near here. We thought it would be safe, but Malthael found it all the same.
I consider myself an expert on all matters concerning boggits. The boggit itself is a small, odd creature given to foraging and burrowing. Under normal circumstances, it fears humans, but it can be incited to great violence when under the influence of magical objects. Rings in particular seem to excite them.
The first time I saw a witch, she burned. Father took me to the town square to see it. Look, he said, that is the face of evil. But she looked like any other woman, and burned like anything else. Then the flames engulfed her. Her eyes found mine, and she laughed.
This is the entrance to the tomb, but someone's collapsed it.
Adria.
It looks like we'll have to find another way into the ruins. What was that?
My wrath is low. Not enough wrath. Power before Zakarum. I require more wrath.
This was just one entrance to the city. There are guide stones littered across the blood marsh that will lead us to the main one. The guide stones are useless to most, but will reveal the correct path to a Nephilim such as yourself.
The tusked Boggin is a ferocious, hulking beast with an exceedingly bad temper. Aided by packs of boggits, it will fight anything that crosses its path. Invariably, some of the boggits will die, but the survivors are rewarded with scraps left over from the Boggin's prey. If only my assistance would work for so little.
You never stop trying, Adria. I'll say that for you.
Remember to get the information we need before you...
Right.
Well, that's not very reassuring.
Evil has been rebuked!
Leah would understand. We need answers more than we need revenge.
My father could never understand. He was born into privilege and wealth, and he spent every moment of his life trying to protect it. I was his flesh and blood, but he cared more about the names in books and the faces of the paintings on the walls than his living daughter. Do you know what fear is? The fear of who you are. The fear of what your own blood would do if they knew what you were. No, you could never understand it. People look to you as a savior. Have you ever thought about the lives you've taken? They were fathers, lovers, daughters. They ask me what I see when I look into the fire. I see a burning man. I see a burning witch. I see terror and a hunger that will consume everything. What hope do the works of men have against such all-consuming hunger? I gave myself to the flames.
How long do you think Adria would last if I held her head under one of these blood pools?
Burn in the light!
That was quite bizarre.
My father burned. He screamed as the flames consumed him, and the smell was sickly sweet. He had found me. For once in his life he had noticed me, and when he saw that the flames did not touch me, he breathed one word. It was his last.
These creatures are usually fairly docile. Whatever Adria's doing has made them unnaturally aggressive.
This is one of the guide stones, but nothing happens when I approach it.
Let me try.
Witch, they called me, but I turned it against them. When their daughter had a child that needed to disappear, when there was a sickness that none of the healers could cure, who was it they pleaded with? When they needed me, the morality they flaunted in the daylight disappeared, as it always does.
Done!
There are 4 entrances to the Nephilim city, each one etched with a sigil. Only the correct one marks the true entrance to the tomb, however. When you activate these stones, one of the wrong sigils disappears.